Hi Stampin' friends, it's great to see you today. Today we'll be using the Flowers of Friendship stamp set. It comes with great thank you type sentiments. They say many thanks from all of us, little card, big thanks, and thank you for everything. It has a combination of script and block lettering, and then it has this stem here with flowers, and then it comes with a punch if you buy it in the bundle, which I didn't because I really wanted the Life is Better with Friends Like You sentiment. And so I used it on a spinner card with the, what is that die called? Let me think. Give It a Whirl, with the Give It a Whirl dies. And I used just the part that's better with friends like you. So I punched out in letters, life is, and then I put with friends like you on there. So you can see that this card would be a lot of fun to punch out these pieces here and maybe make some little cute edges on your card, some things like that. And then this larger one can be used to fill more space on a card. So let's get started. I'm going to show you a couple of different possibilities. I wanted to show you first the idea of what you want to do if you want to say thank you for everything, but you don't want to say for everything. You really only want to say thank you. It is a lot of fun to use just a marker and only ink up the part that you want. So the way to do that is to use one of your Stampin' Right markers, not a blend because it won't work with the alcohol markers. They'll dry too quickly. And I don't know how you would even stamp with them. But just try not to get any of the ink on these little edge pieces that are coming, the script pieces that are coming up close to the edge of this. This one is one of the worst as far as it being really easy to get it on the other pieces if you're not careful, the other lettering if you're not careful. So what you typically do with this is just ink it up and then huff the part that you want to ink up. But I'm having to be really, really careful with this. So I was thinking that it might be nice. I cut out a few of my a few things here to use with it. I cut out a, whoops, got a little glue dot stuck there. That wasn't so good. I cut out several different little pieces to try and work with here. I'm not finding, there we are. So I thought it might be nice to kind of just center up in the center my little thank you. There, I did that. So there you can see I only ended up stamping the thank you part, so you can see how that worked out. Just kind of put that on there. One thing I also wanted to do with this was use the little card big thanks sentiment. I'm using that with the Fresh Freesia. So what I'm doing here, I just need to hold it down so I don't get any double stamping, and I'm just doing the little card big thanks. There you can see, little card big thanks. And then what I wanted to do is stamp some of these little flowers, which you'll have to watch me cut them out since I don't have the punch, which I'm probably going to get. I don't know why I do that. I mean, if there's a bundle, I probably want both pieces of the bundle. I'm not sure why I do that. There we go. And then I thought as well, it would be nice to use, there is a little strip here that comes with just little tiny, tiny cute flowers. So I thought those could be nice to add. There we are. Put a couple of those. Whoops, let me ink that again. They're brand new. Sometimes they're hard to ink up. So there we are. You can see that. And then ready to just add some of these being cut out. I'm just going to go ahead and snip in and cut out 3 of them, because you know how we like to use 3s often. And then I'm going to take 2 of these big ones, put them there. And then I'm just going to do a quick cut. And what I like to do is kind of leave an edge so that it's as if the punch did it. So you can kind of imagine it's just kind of an edgy punch type look. Now, when you have the punch, you can punch these in the color that it is. Maybe stamp them in the same color ink or in Versamark ink. And you can make it look like that sort of a flower. But since we're doing it like this, I am going to color these and I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends. Now, since I stamped this in the same fresh freesia, I'm going to color in the fresh freesia. So I think that will be pretty. So I'm going to use the light fresh freesia, and I'm just going to color the outer edges of this, and you could just color the whole thing. That would be totally fine. I'm going to color the outer edges of these little guys, these little petals. I may just color the center as well, just to be sure that it's got color on it. In case I don't get my, when you put a whatever inside, like a pearl or a bling or whatever, sometimes it doesn't quite fill the space as well as you might want it to. So what I'm doing with that is just kind of going ahead to color that just in case on that. So there you can see I'm just coloring using the darker fresh freesia marker inside. And if you want it to be more pronounced, the difference in the two colors, what I'm doing is just coloring it again on the inside just to give it even more difference between the two colors. So you can see you could just go ahead and call that finished. That would be super simple. Put it with like a card for someone who's getting married or something. Maybe just put this pretty matching ribbon. And that we have 3x3 envelopes, so that would be a perfect tuck in to just, you know, put in an envelope and tuck it with your gift. So I wanted to be sure and show you all this before I move on next time into the celebration and the holiday type catalog. So anyway, so you can see here, I could tie this in a bow and put it on here, or I could run a strip across the side, maybe tie it in a knot on the side, could be really cute. And then if I get adventurous and get these little guys on there, that could be super cute as well. So there is our one idea. If you want it to have bling, of course, never hesitate to use your Wink of Stella. So that would be super pretty. Maybe you could even put that on the center alone, or you could just fill in the coloring here with the Wink of Stella. And that just, let's see if I can show you the difference in one side versus the other there. It has the shiny Wink of Stella on there. So that could give your card more of a look there if you wanted. So that's one idea. So then next I'm going to use this layer. Now I've got to punch these little guys out because they are really stuck in there. Sometimes you have to go ahead and get that done even though you've run it through the Big Shot. We do have that little brush tool that will get them off a lot of times, but that can be kind of nice. So here you can see, this way I would be taking the entire front of the card with this, and then maybe I'll stamp this. You could ink this up with your markers and have it be that particular way, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and stamp in black, kind of work with it that way. Hope I have it well inked, who knows. And maybe put it, I didn't decide if I want to put it in the middle or to the side. In any case, either one would look good. You just need to remember to kind of balance it out. If you put it to the side, you'll need to be sure and put your sentiment on the side just to kind of balance it out. Okay, so now I am looking for, oh, my blend fell in the floor. That can be a thing. Here's the the light fresh freesia I'm putting on here. There we go. So I'm just coloring this real quickly. So you can see how that this would be a pretty simple and easy stamp set to use. Not difficult at all. And then when I finish this, I did not do a good job of inking it up, but that had actually never had ink on it. So usually the second or third time that you ink it up, it does get to working a little better. So then I'm just going to put some dark ink at the bottom. I'm going to go all the way up these lines here. Easy peasy. There we are. Then I'm going to use my, that's the old one, there we go. I'm going to use my light soft seafoam to color the leaves. Then I'm just going to add the dark seafoam down the stem, just kind of like an outline. You don't have to do that. I just kind of like the added color that it gives. Giving a little bit down each one of the veining portions of the flower, down the veins. Just to give it a little more color. And then any space that looks like it's just too light, that you can hardly see the color, and I just go ahead and put a little more in those spots. There we are. So there you can see that. And then it would be super easy to just put a thank you across the top, or to just wrap this through. So let's see here. We'll go ahead and wrap this around. Just be sure and put them through the same. Well, you certainly don't have to. There might be a technique where it would look really cute to have it going across the card like this. But what I'm going for here is just tucking it in on the side and just wrapping it like that. So then I'm just going to take my glue dots and glue them to down to the back. Oops. There we go. So then I could put this on this color card, which is the Fresh Freesia, or I could put it on a soft seafoam, and it's going to look great on either one of those. And if I want to not tie a bow, I almost always want to tie a bow, but it's certainly nice to just put a little tie across here. Let me get my ends even. That's one thing you always want to do. And if you're putting your card together and it's frayed, if your ribbon frays on the end, as long as both sides of the ribbon are frayed, I mean, that can be a look too. You just don't want to have one side frayed and one side not, I think. I think that's kind of a common thing. But yes, it is, and it is a very simple card. But I think that this is something that anyone would enjoy to get because it's so simple. Honestly, it would be a beautiful sympathy card, I think, because I like to stay fairly simple, but I don't think that this ribbon treatment is too much for a sympathy card. I think it's kind of just enough. You may want to lay off bling. For me, I think that, you know, like our iridescent bling is beautiful, but it can be a little much if you go adding it to a sympathy card. But like you can see here that almost any of these blings would just add. You know, this lighter one is supposed to be soft. It's not supposed to be soft seafoam, it's soft succulent. But I think that would be beautiful on this card for a birthday or a thank you. And this as well. But then, you know, for sympathy, kind of we might want to just not use that for sympathy. Let me see if I've even gotten it close enough that you can see those pretty colors there. So there we are. So that was my idea with that. And then I wanted to kind of show you if I can find it, here it is. The stamping with the little card, big thanks. You can, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a little card. It could also be a full-size card because it's still not a huge card. Oh my, what have I done there? Caught a little edge up here at the top, but that's just an opportunity for embellishment. When you get a little smuts on the sides, sometimes you can take some sort of a sanding block. This is one of our old style sanding blocks, and we had these style sanding blocks. Sometimes they will get it off. And then I also have this that I bought on Amazon. It is a mono multi-brand sand eraser, and so you can often get those off with that. So sometimes that can save your project. It'll usually kind of rough up the paper there, but it does manage to get this off. So I wanted to mention that little tip because I don't think I've shown you all this sand eraser. It's probably at such a small price point that Stampin' Up! Probably will never carry it, but I wish they would. It will really get off. Like you can see, I've worked at it just a little bit, and it's gotten all the color off, though there is a little bit of tear into the paper there. There you can kind of see it. I think. Where was it? Okay, it was right there. But I feel like that is completely gone. And it really helps you to save a card sometimes when you don't necessarily want to have to redo, and it's such a small error that you've made. So anyway, I think that would be really cute to put at the bottom as well. And I could have stamped that probably prettier if I had done it with the Stamparatus and just stamped it directly on this layer. And remember, when you're doing the Stamparatus, you can always use one of these like templates to do your stamping on, and then change this out as you need it. Stamp it on and then get a new one and stamp it on. And that saves you so much time in the Stamparatus as well. And any size of this will work for that. So what I would do with this one though, is I would scoot it down a little bit from the top, because if you're wanting to stamp across the top of the Stamparatus, that can sometimes be too close. So anyway, I know that was a short one, but I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you have a great weekend. I plan to be, on Sunday, I plan to do the last of the annual catalog designer series paper focus, and I'm going to use a fun fold. So it would work with a variety of different papers. So I think you'll want to stop by and see that. It's called Drapery Fold. So thanks, and bye-bye.